So let's be honest, every business right now is asking the same question. How do we make AI work for us? The possibilities are endless, but here's the problem. Guessing is too risky. You can't just experiment with your business operations and hope it works out. But sitting on the sidelines, that's not an option either, because one thing is almost certain. Your competitors are already making their move. No more waiting. With NetSuite by Oracle, you can put AI to work today and do it the right way. NetSuite is the #1 AI cloud ERP trusted by over 43,000 businesses. It's a unified suite that brings your financials, inventory, commerce, HR, and CRM into one single source of truth. And that connected data, that's what makes your AI smarter. So it doesn't just guess, it knows. It intelligently automates routine tasks, delivers actionable insights, and helps you cut costs while making fast AI-powered decisions with confidence. Here is what I love. You've got total flexibility. With NetSuite AI Connector, you can use the AI of your choice and connect it to your actual business data. That means you can ask every question you ever had. Who are my key customers? What's my cash on hand? What are my inventory trends? Plus, automate those tiresome manual processes. Let's see your competitors do that. This isn't some new bolted-on tool you're trying to make work with your existing system. This is an AI built into the system that runs your business to help you stay ahead of the pack. If your revenues are at least in the 7 figures, get our free business guide, Demystifying AI, at netsuite.com/SPI. The guide is free for you at netsuite.com/SPI, netsuite.com/SPI. Is your business taking off? Well, now's the time to act fast and hire help, but it can't just be anyone. Find the person who gets your brand and has the skills that matter on Indeed. No more struggling to get your listing noticed on other sites. With Indeed Sponsored Jobs, your post stands out and attracts the right candidates fast, and it really works. Sponsored jobs are 90% more likely to result in a hire, so this is truly the best way to reach top talent. That's how I do it if I were looking for anybody from podcast editors to community experts. Background matters, and Indeed allows me to narrow my search to people with the right experience and know-how. Possible candidates with years of experience on shows just like this one. And here's the thing with Indeed Sponsored Jobs. I get people who actually fit my requirements. No more digging through resumes. Plus, you only pay for results on Indeed. No monthly subscriptions, just a boost when you need to hire fast. So spend more time interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. Less stress, less time, more results. Now with Indeed Sponsored Jobs. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to help get your job the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/SmartPassive. Just go to Indeed.com/SmartPassive right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/SmartPassive. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring, do it the right way with Indeed.
Social media is more media now than social. Email has become this new place where people can actually have real conversations. And so I think email is just this steadfast place that is not trying to chase an algorithm. It's just human to human. And that is what is working right now. You know, if your metrics are down, if it feels harder to build an audience, it's because of the AI slop. And email is just this different place. It just has a different vibe to it where you can truly, truly connect with people. And that's on top of the fact that you own it, on top of the fact that for every $1 you spend, you can get up to $40 in return. Spoiler alert, last year I got $250 for every $1 I spent. It was insane. It's not going anywhere. It's simple. People check their email multiple times a day, all day, and you own it.
Somebody asked me the question the other day, Pat, if you were just starting out today, and you know, this question usually leads to like, what would you do first? Or what business would you make? But this question was different. This question was, Pat, if you were just starting out today, who would you learn from? Who would you want to get help from? And my mind immediately went to somebody who has been on the show before. Her personality is so easy to connect with. And her business model is one that I would want to have as well, because it provides a lot of money with very little time put into it, but she also shows up and serves her audience in an amazing way. This is Liz Wilcox. And Liz has been on the show before. And I didn't know this the last time she was on the show, but she had actually been casted for Survivor and wasn't able to talk about it 3 years ago when she was on the show. So we're going to start by talking about that a little bit because I was just very curious. But then we dive right into her passive income business model. It is passive. And talk about how to show up today. We do get into email marketing, which is her specialty. But we also talk about stuff that is absolutely vital for all of us to understand. And that is the idea of showing up and being yourself, being human. How do you do that? How do you best show up and, in a way, even embrace your weird so that you can stand out in this world of AI and competition? So let's not wait any further. This is Liz Wilcox from lizwilcox.com. Absolutely one of my favorite people. Liz, welcome back to the podcast. Thank you so much for joining me today.
She's back. I'm
She's
so excited.
I remember the last time you were on the show was a few years back. You had told me something really interesting right before we hit record. You said that was in that weird kind of limbo period where after you filmed Survivor, because you were a contestant on there, but you weren't allowed to tell anybody yet. How relieved were you, or maybe not relieved, I don't know, when everybody finally knew and found out?
It was a huge relief because secrets are hard, and I was excited, and it was a relief, but also another point of tension because it's like, oh my gosh, what are they going to show? I came home and I had a friend that knew, a family friend, and I said, I don't know how they're going to show me. They could go in a lot of different angles. So
Yeah.
it was a relief to have that part of the journey start. But it was also like, oh my gosh, because unlike Pat and I, when you go on a show, you're not in charge of the narrative, right? You can't just steer the story how you want. And so, for better or worse, it is what it is.
And I know you're getting recognized a little bit for that as well, but you also are doing some incredible things with your business. And this is what we're mostly going to talk about today, is how you've run this business in a way that is still very passive. We've almost kind of walked away from that term a little bit. We call it SPI, but it's still smart passive income. And passive income is the dream. That's what people want. But it's, as I often say, that's not going to happen right away. That's often the last step after you've built your systems, after you've handed things off. But tell me about your passive business. How passive is it? How many hours are you working? Maybe we start there.
Yeah, so typically I only work a couple hours a day, and sometimes I don't work on Monday and or Fridays. I really have gotten into yoga, but my studio is like 30, 40 minutes away. So it really depends on how much energy I have.
That's the dream.
By the time I get home. It really is the dream. It's so insane to me because when I first heard of Pat and SPI, y'all, I was living in an RV. I didn't even have internet on my phone. And I just believed what people like Pat were saying. Like, if I put in the work, I will see the result one day. If I work with intention, I can have that passive income one day. And it's true what Pat says, like, it is the very last step. And y'all, we mentioned Survivor, and I don't think it would be as passive as it is if I didn't get cast on the show because first of all, I never even applied until I knew like I could step away. I support 3 households just fiscally, to step away from your business when you support so many people and you pay so many grocery bills, like it doesn't make sense. But as I started to build what is now a membership, I realized, oh, maybe I could apply to be on Survivor. And then when I was moving through the casting process, I thought, oh, this is for sure going to happen. And so that's when I started realizing, oh, I need to systematize this. I need to figure out a way to make it passive so that I can go on this show. And it ended up taking 100 days off for the show to go on. Yeah. And I did not log in, did not have a laptop for, I think it was exactly 100 days before my sister who works for me said, okay, will you please come back? We kind of need you.
Yeah. Wow. That's 100 days away from the business that you've created, the systems. So what were the things that you did leading into those 100 days that allowed for you to step away, but the business still continued to run? What was the model?
Yeah, listen, y'all don't even know how much you do in a day until you try to systematize it. So I hired an operations manager to help me we use Notion. We basically uploaded my brain into the computer. What does Liz do every single day? And I thought at that time, I thought I had passive income, but I realized, wow, actually I'm working a lot. I'm making a lot of decisions. There's a lot of micromanaging the calendar going on here. And so we basically just took everything and anything that this operations manager could think of that the business does, like, okay, top of funnel, middle, bottom, what is involved in every single step? How do you want your customer interactions to go? what if something breaks? How do you fix it? Et cetera, et cetera. And it honestly took about 3 months of very active work to create sort of this manual, right? Like if you get a real job, I don't know much about real jobs, but if you get one, right, they have a company manual or they have company training that takes you like a week. We basically created that. And then my sister, who worked for me part-time at the time, I asked her to come on full-time for me while I was away, and I asked that operation manager to stay on while I was away. So they basically kept things running. We did a lot of batching, right? And I couldn't tell anybody, like Pat said. I couldn't tell anybody. So I said, I'm just, with the success of the business, I've just decided I'm going to take summer off. I really need to get out in nature, is what I said.
Well, you kind of weren't lying.
Little did they know I was living outside. I really need to get out in nature. I'm going to put my phone away. I'm not going to see you guys for at least 6 weeks. So there was a little bit of prep, a little bit of forethought. And then when I came home, I was exhausted. I didn't win, spoiler alert, but I got very, very close.
Mm-hmm.
And I was quite sick when I came home. I had lost 14% of my body weight in 25 days. So I was quite ill. So I took another 5-6 weeks off. And it really was all that planning, prepping, and creating those systems that made it absolutely possible to take that time off and to realize, wow, this is mostly passive. When I come back, I'm not going to have to do much other than, create the content and keep my customers happy.
And that's really inspirational because I think a lot of us overcomplicate a lot of things. We feel like we have to always be working, and to hear even today, we don't hear these kinds of stories as much anymore. This was like the jam back in the day when I started, right? Like I'm building all these websites and everything is kind of automated, and I've gotten back into a membership, which does take more time and getting more involved with the community, sure. But you have a community, yet you are still able to serve them. Tell me about the community that you serve and how are they being served?
Yeah, so I do have a membership. It's $9. So number one, that really helps with the stepping back. Hey, love you, but you're paying me $9. I need to go to bed now.
Sure.
So, that kind of takes that pressure relief valve, off, because I know they're only paying me a certain amount. And so I don't have to, pretty much any customer service is above and beyond for $9, right?
There's no expectation that you're going to call them at midnight to check on them.
Exactly. Or check my email or get back to them within 60 minutes, right? So that, number one, really does help. Inside the community, I don't promise a lot more than the content and a once a month call. So Pat has his office hours. I have a live Q&A once a month. Now that is where I really show up and serve. We can go hours on that call. My sister actually said, okay, enough, Liz, 90 minutes, because when you turn off the computer, you actually have a child. So you need to serve her too. But that is where I really, really serve my people. Hey, come to this call. It's my favorite thing. It's going to be your favorite thing. You can screen share. You can get literal coaching for $9 because you show up. And that is just love it, love it, love it. We also do have a Facebook group. But after about 1,000 members, we have about 4,000 right now, is when I opened up that Facebook group so they could serve each other. And so if people often will email me and say, hey, I've got this question about ABC. Oh, that's a great question. I'd love for you to put it into the Facebook group so I can answer it so more people can see it. And usually by the time I get over to Facebook at the end of the day, maybe I've got 30 minutes to go check over there. It's already been answered. I don't even have to answer it. So serving people through that one-on-one, they can email me, and some people do, but usually I direct over so they can get the hive mind behind it.
Yeah, that's cool. And it's really smart. You're taking stuff off of your plate and you are letting your audience step up and step forward. And as far as community, they're seeing that there are other people like them there, and they're all helping each other. I know that inspires more people to help more people, to help then more people, and that's pretty cool. And you're just kind of playing director versus always being there to have to answer questions, because sometimes, and I found in our community, the people there can answer questions better than I can often.
Oh, yeah. And it's kind of like my parenting style. I realized, on the playground, the less involved I am, the better off she is. And so it's kind of like that with my students. It's like, I know that they can figure this out together. And another way that I serve is within the content itself, right? I'm creating, toot my own horn, amazing content. I'm really thinking about what my people need versus what I want to show them, right? So a lot of people, especially memberships, it's like, oh, well, if I add more content, that's more value. But I don't believe that's necessarily true. And so with my membership is mostly template based. I give you a template, you plug and play it into your own email service provider. But I realized that, everybody has a different learning style. Some people aren't going to be able to just look at a template and think, oh yeah, I'm sending that out today. That's great. A lot of people want to know, why am I sending this? How is this going to work for my business? I'm special, Liz. I'm an e-commerce brand. You teach email marketing. How am I going to use this template for myself? So what I do is a quick, usually 2 to 4 minute video walkthrough, very quick. It's kind of like a mini course on marketing and email. And then I also have that written out in case some people like to read better. And then on top of the template, I give 2 examples, and those are written from different perspectives. So I might say, this was designed for Pat Flynn of SPI, who is trying to build his email list this year. That's his main objective. And then the next one is, this is for, Jasmine with bejeweled.com, and she's just trying to sell more t-shirts right now. And so you can really see not only the gist of the email, but how it works in action for different businesses. So when it comes to serving customers, you can also serve them within your content by how you create it.
Yeah, I love that framing, and it just makes it easier to find what you need and not get overwhelmed by just like the plethora of all the information that's there. One thing that became very clear to me, because Liz had recently invited me into one of those calls that you had, it was to celebrate an anniversary, which was really amazing, and congrats on that. How many years was that? Was that
5 years?
5 years, right. Amazing. I mean, tons of people showed up, number one. One of the most engaged and active communities I've seen. And again, I don't know if it was just because it was the anniversary thing, but it feels like that's how it is all the time.
It's pretty normal.
Yeah. And when I got in there, you just brought crazy energy, and you were mentioning people by name, but not just by name. You were like, how are the kids? And, hey, I hope you feel better after that injury you had, or whatever. It's like you just knew who these people were. And I was a little bit jealous. I was like, oh my gosh, like I feel like I could do a better job of doing that with my audience. I was really inspired by that. And so I appreciate you for leading that example, Liz, on what it means to be a community leader and get to know who your people are. Because although it's $9 a month, I mean, you're giving them so much more than what I know a lot of people do who charge thousands a month. And you're getting to know them as real people, real humans.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really want to point out what you just said. Like, even though it's $9 a month, what y'all don't understand is how I grew up. Like, I was born on the wrong side of Detroit. One of my favorite accomplishments of my life is getting my mom off 8 Mile. If you've ever seen that movie, it's a real place. And my mom lived there for a very long time, almost her whole life. And so when I look at my customers, when I'm on a call like Pat is describing, and I see, Melquia and Lisa and Rich and, I'm literally picturing them in my head right now. I'm going to send them this episode. They're going to be so excited. They have given me more than I could ever give them. Y'all, I am looking out my window right now. The house across the street from me costs, I don't know, probably $2 million. I can see the water from my house. When I was in high school, I lived in a 1-bedroom trailer with 7 people. Like, it blows my mind when I think about my people. There is no way I could ever pay them back for what they have given me. And so, of course, I'm going to remember them. Of course, I'm going to be like, hey, how'd your surgery go? Or, oh my gosh, is it still snowing up in Syracuse? I can't believe you live there. Like, of course, I'm going to do that because they have given me my entire life. They have given my child her entire life. I recently adopted a child. I could not have done that and rescued her from her situation if it wasn't for my customers. I just love them so much.
And again, I can attest, I saw it happen in real time. And I think we could feel it here on the podcast. I mean, I love all of this because in my book, Superfans, this is what we talk about. It's like going deep and building these real relationships. And it's funny because I wrote that in 2019 before COVID. And since then, I've started a community, then I started the Pokemon thing, and more and more people are talking about how important the connection piece is with people, especially now that since I've written that book, AI has come about and everything is slop. Everything is just disconnected. Everything like pretends to be human and it's just the least human thing ever. So to see a community like this in the world of email marketing, of all places, it's like you can build real connections and care about your people. So let me ask you something. What would you do with your time if you didn't have to do everything yourself? Because here's the reality. Scaling a business isn't about working harder or longer hours. It's about bringing in the right expertise at the right time. And the moment you realize you don't have to do it all yourself, that's when everything changes. I can definitely vouch for that. This is where Upwork comes in. Upwork is a one-stop platform to find, hire, and pay expert freelancers across web and software development, data analytics, marketing, business operations, and more. You get fast access to specialized talent across 125 plus categories, so you can fill skill gaps, launch projects faster, and scale support up or down without committing to full-time headcount. You can browse profiles, review past work, and get help scoping the role so you can hire with confidence and get started quickly. And with Upwork Business Plus, you get access to the top 1% of talent on Upwork with AI-powered shortlisting that matches you to the right freelancer in under 6 hours. No endless searching required. Upwork also handles contracts and payments all in one place, cutting down the operational hassle so you can spend more time focused on growing your business. Thousands of growing businesses already trust Upwork for everything from one-off projects to ongoing support, and it's completely free to sign up. Posting a job is easy. Just visit Upwork.com right now and post your job for free. That is Upwork.com to connect with top talent ready to help your business grow. That's UPWORK.com, Upwork.com. Do simple updates to your .com feel harder than they should? Are you stuck waiting on your developer to try to figure out how some clunky backend system works? Well, I've been there. And honestly, your website should help your business grow, not slow it down. And that's why I want to tell you about Framer. Framer is a no-code website builder that works like your favorite design tool, helping thousands of businesses from early-stage startups to Fortune 500s build better websites faster. Here's what makes it different. Changes go live in seconds with one click. No waiting on engineering, no complicated workflows. Just design, publish, done. It's got everything you need built in. Real-time collaboration, a flexible CMS, advanced analytics with A/B testing, and enterprise-grade security with 99.99% uptime. Companies like Perplexity and Miro use Framer to move faster and own their .com without the bottlenecks. Whether you're launching a new site, testing landing pages, or migrating your full website, Framer has programs for startups and enterprises to make it as easy and fast as possible. Learn how you can get more out of your .com from a Framer specialist or get started building for free today at framer.com/SPI for 30% off a Framer Pro annual plan. That's framer.com/SPI for 30% off. Framer.com/SPI. Rules and restrictions may apply. How else are you caring about the people who you are serving? Obviously, showing up, building relationships with them. What other fun things do you do that are super fan-like to keep this community? I mean, how many members do you have even at this $9 level?
I think at the time of this recording, about 4,000. Sometimes it goes up,
That's
sometimes
wicked.
it goes down. It is wicked. Thank you. I'm desperately trying to get to 10,000. I know email changed my life. It can change yours. I know that, there are thousands and thousands of people that need this. And that's why I get on podcasts like this. This is my third one today, y'all. I'm looking for you, baby. I'm looking for you. And so I also serve just by, I think, number one, being myself. I didn't realize that this was a superpower of mine until a customer of mine actually emailed me and she said, Liz, you are so comfortable being yourself. It makes me feel like I could be myself too.
Amen.
I mean, that hit me hard. I didn't know. I just, I've always been kind of weird. So, I just had to embrace it at an early age or I was going to be depressed, So I think showing up and just being yourself really serves your people the most because people get inspired by that. I mean, Pat Flynn just told me that I inspired him. What year is it? Like, what planet is this, right? Like, that's insane to me. But I think it really comes down to just knowing who you are, being comfortable with that, and, not being afraid of it. I think also keeping up with trends for your people. I know for me, speaking of, Pat just said AI slop. My subject line today was anti-AI. And the preview text was somebody has to say it. And I said, hey, I know AI is not going anywhere. I know it's so important for so many things. But when it comes to your emails and your copywriting, it's not there. And I said, please do not take the shortcut when it comes to relationships with your customers, with your readers, with your subscribers. And so for me, that's serving people, not being afraid to say the thing everybody is thinking. And that can be really hard. But if you have an email list, if you have a podcast, if you have a YouTube, even if you're just, working on short form video right now, you are a leader. You are in front, and it's your job to say the thing that your people need you to say. And that's one of the ways that I serve my people as well.
Yeah. And you do that very well. Catching on trends is really key. This is why we did our recent 30-day video challenge, and it's worked really well. We had tens of thousands of people participate in that and tried to lead. And we have been, and we're going to be running that challenge again and then again, which is really cool. Showing up as yourself is something that has always been important to me as well, like not pretending to be anybody else, because why would you want to do that? You're going to attract people because of somebody you're not. It never made sense to me. I hope that people have seen that over the years, that I've been able to stay true to myself. And that hit me early on as well in my business journey. I remember, I think it was 2009, Liz, where I got an email that was like, hey, Pat, like, why don't you show off your mansion and Lamborghinis like everybody else does in your space? And I was like, because I don't care about those things and I don't have them. So what I did to kind of respond to that was I publicly shared my 2010 Toyota Sienna and said that was my Lamborghini. I leaned into that. I was like, oh, that does make me different. Let me lean into that even more. And then as I started bringing more family stuff into the brand, more and more families started to connect. Because like, oh, you're just like me. You're trying to just survive after getting laid off. You're not like this beach millionaire sipping pina coladas and things like that. A, I don't drink, but B, yeah, that's not me. That's just not who I am. And the more that I've been nerdy, the more that I've embraced my Back to the Future, like fanatic craziness, the more people see me as a person, see me as a human. I mean, you have 90s culture all over your stuff. It's everywhere. If you go to your homepage at lizwilcox.com, I mean, the way your page is set up, the decoration on your page, what you're wearing in the videos, it's just you. And I think that is so great as a reminder for us, because we often get fed how we should be by others. And so how do you work with people in your community about being true to themselves, especially if they don't feel worthy or they don't feel like they have value to add? How do you encourage people to show up?
Yeah, well, I teach a 3-pronged approach that I think helps them lean into themselves. So number one, I always teach, show up and show that you're invested in your people. When you are investing in other people, you can't help but be yourself, right? You can't help but show up in an authentic way. The way that I'm going to invest in you is probably not even the way Pat's going to invest in you, right? We're different people. We're going to work on different projects. We're going to attract different kinds of folks, etc. And so just showing people that you're really invested. Number two, just become relatable, right? What's relatable about you? Pat just mentioned, I drive a Toyota. I have a family, right? For me, it's like, I'm still obsessed with NSYNC. Shout out April, right? No, she's BSB.
She's BSB and like, hey, if it weren't for Justin, like you guys would still be together.
Right. I mean, that's a different podcast. Yeah. And so just becoming relatable. And the spoiler of that is people want to relate to other people. It's actually really simple. Like I just mentioned NSYNC, and April, she likes BSB, right? But we still have that musical love for boy bands, right? Or you might be thinking, oh my gosh, yeah, pathetic. Get a grip. It was all Green Day back in the day. Why are you guys talking about boy bands, right? But you're relating to me in some way right now. And then the last thing is just staying top of mind, meaning being consistent, is going to help you bring yourself out. Pat just mentioned, before he didn't really talk about his Toyota Sienna. Somebody had to bring that up because he was staying top of mind to why don't you do that, Pat? And then, oh yeah, I want to share more about my family because I like the people that are replying to me that are family friendly, right? And so again, showing that you're invested, becoming relatable, and then just staying really consistent. You can't help but bring out your true self in those moments.
Yeah.
Over time, it's just going to get easier and easier.
What does it say? Your vibe attracts your tribe, right? The more that you are yourself, you're going to attract the right kind of people to you. And that's why at SPI, we've seemed to attract really good, kind-hearted, heart customer-centered, service-based people, just like you have. There's an amazing alignment between our brands, actually, and the kind of people that we serve, which is really, really cool. Let's talk about email a little bit because
Oh, yay.
yeah, this is your thing. And a lot of people might be thinking, email, like in the world of AI, like why should that be a focus? What is your argument for why we should lean into email even more today, despite there being social media and all this other stuff happening that is seemingly like where we should focus? What can email still continue to do for us?
Yeah, sure. So I could give you the typical answer. You own your email list, right? You don't own Facebook, Threads, whatever the hot new thing is. We don't even own our YouTube channels technically, right? But we own our email lists. We could use ActiveCampaign today, hear Pat and Liz rave about Kit, move over there tomorrow, right? You own your email list. But really, what I want to share, so Pat and I have a mutual friend named Caleb that works over at Ecamm. Shout out Ecamm. We love them. And Caleb has gotten super obsessed with email marketing. And I was talking to them. We went on a little retreat together over the holidays. And they said, social media is more media now than social. Email has kind of become this new place where people can actually have real conversations, where that used to be Facebook or Instagram. And I thought, gosh, this guy is so smart. Like, duh. And so I think, especially in 2026, 27, 28, and beyond, email is just this steadfast place that is never going to go away because it's not owned by one person the same way social media it is. It's not, trying to chase an algorithm. It's just human to human. And that is what is working right now. That is, if your metrics are down right now, if it feels harder to build an audience, it's because of what Pat said a few minutes ago about, the AI slop. Everybody and their mother's just churning and burning content. And, email is just this different place. It just has a different vibe to it where you can truly, truly connect with people. And that's why I think you should go all in on email marketing, on top of the fact that you own it, on top of the fact that for every dollar you spend, you can get up to $40 in return. Spoiler alert, last year I got $250 for every dollar I spent. It was insane. Yeah, I mean, email, it's not going anywhere. It's simple. People check their email multiple times a day, all day, and you own it.
I mean, I agree with all of that. And what Caleb said about it being more media on social now versus the social part is such a good call out. Let's see. Number one, email has still been for me on my end as well, the way that I've actually made one-on-one connections with people. Yes, it happens in the DMs, but then people get distracted. And, I find that a lot of the younger folks in the audience who maybe were on social and doing a lot of their deal making there are growing up now and they are needing to get into email. Email hasn't gone away. Email is going to be something that more and more people get into as the younger generation kind of has to. I also see it as similar to what Caleb and you just said. Email is the new handwritten letter.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh, you took the time to actually think about something to say to me and send it to me directly, versus just a quick little message that, probably just takes you a couple seconds or maybe is even automated in like a bot or something. Who knows? But that's kind of how I see email feeling right now. When I get an email from somebody, I'm almost like, oh, this must be a little bit more personal because they didn't send it to me on a DM. And I don't know if that's maybe just me, but that's kind of how and now, of course, I still get handwritten letters every once in a while, and those feel great. Those are like, wow, like this is ancient times here. And it feels good. And I have a wall over here of fans from both SPI and Deep Pocket Monster, of people who've sent me handwritten letters, which is just like, wow, like this audience cares. And I usually send them a little card back or something in return, which is cool. So yeah, the emails aren't going away. You still own it. And that is the more generic answer. But I feel like it's working. And it's probably going to work even better as more and more people get sort of disillusioned on social media.
That's such a great word, disillusion. That's how I feel about social. I don't even have social media on my phone, y'all. Like, it's too much. It's too much. But I darn tootin' have my email, and I check it multiple times a day. I actually had a lady email me. I think I asked a generic, like, why do you think email is important? Just to hear what my audience had to say. And she emailed me back. She said, Doing email marketing and writing my weekly newsletter makes me feel like I have a real business. My clients and students take it seriously versus the, post a million times a day, everybody trying to grab your attention, trial reels, you're seeing new people. But in your inbox, you consented to that. I opt in to hear more from Pat Flynn. Yeah, I want to get unstuck. Let me grab that, right? I opt in. It's a very active way of interacting on the internet, where social media is a very passive way, right? It's scroll, like praying that the algorithm feeds me something that I want to see, versus emails only showing me the things that I actively said, yes, I want more of this. And I think that's why, Pat is saying, hey, this feels more intimate. This feels more serious. This feels like, oh, wow, they sent me an email, because it's a much more active way of interacting on the internet.
Yeah. So I feel like the strategy for email moving forward is, as we called out earlier, just making it more human, making it more personable, not using just copy paste from AI, but putting your voice in there. And like, your emails read like you, right? You can tell it's an email from Liz when they're coming in. And so again, if you want to check out Liz and everything she has going on, LizWilcox.com, and you can see her newsletter there, and just go there and see the brand. Immediately, you're going to get a sense of who she is when she's there. I know a lot of the audience who has listened to the podcast before knows who you are already. And you and I were at Craft and Commerce last year together, and we both spoke on stage. And we, again, share a lot of similarities with who we serve. We just serve in different ways. And it's great because I think we're both heart-centered. We both care about our audiences. And again, I'm very inspired by how you show up for your people. I think more people need to be like that.
Thank you so much. Yeah. I mean, we're all just humans trying to figure it out. So why not figure it out together?
For sure. For sure. And again, we could go hours talking about email strategies. Again, there's a lot of little tactics.
Join the list, baby. Yeah. Hit the hot pink button, LizWilcox.com. You're going to download some awesome stuff. You're going to feel good. We're going to get you moving. It's going to be great.
See, it's that easy. And it kind of is, actually, because you simplify it for people. Any final words for people who are listening to this, who are inspired to go out there, they're building their communities, they're maybe just at the beginning or have tried and are maybe struggling a little bit? What are the Liz Wilcox words of wisdom that we could leave with today?
Yeah, I think when people ask me what I'm most proud of as far as, being in this game and reinventing myself and the different businesses over the last decade, the thing I'm most proud of is that every day I woke up and I was committed. I was in it to win it. I didn't give up. I didn't think, oh, I'm going to go get a job, or, there was no Indeed.com searches. I just was, it might not be working right now, but it's going to work eventually. And so if you're struggling right now, you're just getting started, or maybe you've been at it a while and this is taking a whole lot longer than you thought, just remember, stay committed. Slow growth is just that. It's still growth. And I believe in you. I know Pat believes in you. And we're so excited to see what you do this year.
We are. Thank you, Liz. Appreciate you. And we'll send people over your way.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop. All right. I hope you enjoyed that interview with Liz Wilcox. Again, you can check her out and her program at LizWilcox.com. And like I said in the beginning of the show, it's like if I were to learn from somebody today, it would be from her, because she's just so easy to connect with. There's obvious care for her audience, and the business model that she has is just incredible. So definitely check her out. Again, Liz Wilcox. It won't be the last time we hear from her, I'm sure. So thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you. Hit that follow button if you haven't already, and subscribe to the podcast. And we'll see you on the next one. Thanks so much for being on this journey with us. If you've been putting off short form video, well, I've got something perfect for you. You might know that we recently ran a 30-day video challenge. Thousands of people participated. Many people have continued on and have done very well. Some seeing millions of views, thousands of new followers and subscribers, new businesses built, and a lot of you didn't get started. And look, I get it. Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, TikTok, everyone says you should be doing it, but where do you start? Maybe you missed the 30-day challenge. Well, I got your back. We're doing a 14-day challenge. Yes, a 14-day challenge. If you can't do 30, you can do 14. You can do 2 weeks, 14-day video challenge. We're going to create videos together. You won't be doing this alone. You're going to get daily prompts, live support, and real accountability during these 14 days to help you publish one video every single day. And after you're done, you're going to have 14 videos under your belt to build momentum on your channel, to get some more followers that you hadn't had before. We're not throwing you in the deep end either. Before the challenge starts, we're going to send you everything you need, quick tips and tricks, so you're ready to hit the ground running on day one. So if you want to sign up, if you're listening to this, you're still within the time period to get started and get ready for it coming up. All you have to do is go to smartpassiveincome.com/14 days to join the challenge. That's smartpassiveincome.com/14days. I'll see you inside. Let's do this. Let me ask you something. How many leads have you paid for, created content for, or worked hard to attract, only to lose them because you didn't follow up fast enough? Someone fills out a form, sends a DM, books a call, and if you're not quick, they're gone. That's exactly why more entrepreneurs are moving their entire back end to High Level. High Level is an all-in-one CRM, marketing, and automation platform that brings everything under one roof. Instead of juggling tools, you can capture and track leads, follow up instantly with email, SMS, or AI, build funnels and landing pages, book appointments, collect payments, manage conversations, all from one dashboard. And here's the part that changes everything. With built-in AI and automation, High Level can respond to leads, send reminders, and keep conversations moving even while you're asleep. It's not hype, it's infrastructure. The difference between busy and scalable usually comes down to systems. If you want fewer tools, faster follow-up, and a backend that actually supports your growth, go to smartpassiveincome.com/high-level and start your free 30-day trial. That's smartpassiveincome.com/HIGHLEVEL. Stop letting opportunities slip. Build a system that closes.